Welcome to Village Highlights. As I just said, welcome to Village Highlights. And today, my co-host, Mickey Victor, and I think you just saw the scroll as it went by, what we've got. I think it's going to be a rather interesting program today. We try to do that, especially the close.
Right.
That's going to get you.
Yeah. And we were past the 4th of July. Nobody got burned or hurt.
None, at least nobody that we know of got burned.
No, that's good.
And on the downward trend, and as somebody said at a meeting this morning, it's only 5.5 months till Christmas.
Oh no, don't even say that.
So to start us off, sitting to my left is Debbie Medley, who is, among other things, the owner and operator of the Cowboy Cafe and another place called Cellar Creekside. And she's going to tell us a little bit about both of these operations. And I'm not exactly sure. I hate to say it, but I've never been to either one.
But you have an excuse. You're an extremely busy man.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
That's true. That's
I
true.
don't know about this lady, but
Let
anyway.
you slide.
So, one thing I do know is it is in Sulphur Springs.
That's correct.
Which is northwest of here a little bit.
About 7 miles as the crow flies, more or less.
As the crow flies, yeah, but you got to go all the way over to Gravette and then north.
Just exactly.
There's no direct.
No.
No.
Not yet.
We're going there soon.
Soon, yes. We have a date with another couple to go there
Yeah.
Very nice.
soon. So tell us about it.
I will.
So we've had all of this chatter and got nowhere.
As we discussed this morning, the last time I saw you was 5 years ago when the Cellar Creekside opened.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going on our 5th anniversary. The cellar itself is a little different than the cafe, fine dining, nice experience. Fridays and Saturday nights from 6 p.m. to whenever the last client leaves. We have a nice fire outside and just some comfortable and nice places for you to sit. So 6 o'clock is when we start, and that's when I very first came on Bella Vista Highlights and met you all.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, proudly have opened the Cowboy Cafe in Mercantile.
I think you were talking about that
We were.
at the time.
Yeah, we were trying to get that going, and for those of you that have been there, my right-hand companion, Rita Dog, could not make it this morning. She was a little camera shy.
Oh.
But we're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. currently. Haven't quite got to evenings yet. We've been open since February the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And serve breakfast all day long. And for those of you that have been there, you know our pancakes are hubcap pancakes.
Wow.
Oh, we make silver dollar ones too, for those of you that are the weak of heart. But really having a good time with it. Sulphur has really got a lot to offer. Our park is beautiful this time of year. The local museum is right across the street.
Oh.
In the Cowboy, we try to do home cooking. So if you come in and don't see something that you like on the menu, we can usually whip up whatever it is that you desire. So similar to the Cellar. A lot of our clients are from Bella Vista and around this area. So you know, in an old cafe, you come in for home cooking. So we try to do that as best we can. And of course, if you don't like it, we want you to tell us and we'll make you something different.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having a really good time with it.
It sounds great. We're looking forward to getting together with Bruce and Jan and coming out there
It'll be a
and,
lovely time.
have a good time. We had a date,
Sorry,
but
my fault.
it's not your fault, but we had to make a change. It was not cast in concrete.
No.
That's one of the nice things around here. Everything is viable, everything is changeable, and we can do that. And we're looking forward.
Is the cellar only open on weekends, or is it
Yes,
always?
ma'am.
Okay.
Currently, it's only open Fridays and Saturday evenings at 6 o'clock. Now, if you desire a earlier time, all you have to do is call me and let me know. You can like us on Facebook in either place or call us at the numbers listed on both. If you lose one, you can call the cafe. If you lose the cafe, you can call the seller because we answer both phones. And currently, due to the heat, obviously, if you want an outside gathering, we have tents and things available there.
Oh.
We've also started a catering service this year, which has been very, very helpful, and are really enjoying that. Different clients throughout the area, some pharmaceuticals, some local business, so that's been an endeavor that we've gotten into since I've seen you last. Offer parties in both places, birthday parties and get-togethers and occasions and things, so we're really having a good time with it.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Do you have a specialty for the cafe, like hamburgers or whatever?
Oh yes, we have a blue plate special every day. We usually post it on Facebook, or if you call the cafe, we'll be able to tell you what the special of the day is. Sometimes a customer will come in the day before and say, hey, I really like meatloaf on Wednesday, and so that's how we decide what the special's going to be. So it works out really well.
Yeah, good.
It sounds like you do a lot to comply with your customers.
Absolutely.
Keep them happy.
Absolutely.
And
They're the reason I'm around. So.
okay. Hey, it is great to see you again.
Thank you both for having
and
us.
to have you here, and we're looking forward to seeing you again. I guess we're going to try and do it on a Sunday afternoon.
I think so.
Is that right?
Beautiful. That'd be
I have it
perfect.
on my.
We'll give it a whirl at the Cellar Creek.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you both.
Pleasure.
Pleasure to
as
see
always.
you again.
Okay, good
Thank
to
you,
see
Mickey.
No, you got a guy over there on your right side that
Yeah,
he's
Mike.
eager as all get out.
Mike Stenson from the Bella Vista Library.
Right.
Good to see you, Mike. And he said he was so excited about coming that he came yesterday.
That's
And we
right.
weren't here. Too bad. But I'm glad you made it today.
Well, that's because I have a question for everybody, Mickey.
Oh, okay.
What were we like 100,000 years ago?
Wow. I don't remember.
As it turns out, not too much different than we are today, according to today's book. That is, our bodies were about the same, except they were in better shape then. And they were subject to fewer diseases than they are now. That is the message of Daniel E. Lieberman's The Story of the Human Body, Evolution, Health, and Disease. He is a Harvard professor of biology who had the good sense to write about the science and history of our physical bodies in a conversational style. Reading this book is like sitting down with a knowledgeable person and talking about ourselves. Not about immediate concerns, but how we look in the big picture of evolution as we understand it. Lieberman is the scientist who understands evolution as simply change over a period of time. The changes depend on their ability to promote survival and natural selection. His concern is that the human body that managed to survive over 100,000 years ago was one that suited the conditions at that time. The earliest human fossils and very primitive societies today show that those humans led very active lives with most of their time spent with hunting and gathering. They could make tools of stone, and they moved about a great deal. It has been proposed that they walked about 9 miles a day in the search of food. This involved bending, climbing, and digging to get at it. While our culture has evolved greatly since then, making life much easier, Lieberman says there is little evidence that the body has changed that much. To him, this means that our reduced physical activity is so harmful that it leads to diseases that threaten our survival. He shows that today's common diseases like cancer, type 2 diabetes, and heart conditions were not problems thousands of years ago. It is true that people live shorter lives without medical care and face constant peril. But on the other hand, their activity led to greater fitness. He argues that our prevalent diseases today are better dealt with through prevention. All these diseases were extremely rare 100,000 years ago, as was obesity. A return to the activity level of that time of our evolutionary success, he believes, would be a proper prescription for the ills of the modern age. This book shows how the body works to maintain itself. This is especially true for our bones. No material has been developed by our advanced society that comes close to the ability of bone to restore itself, but it all depends on activity. This book is so clearly written with so many convincing arguments that it deserves to be widely read. It may even motivate us to move around a little bit more. The Story of the Human Body, Evolution, Health, and Disease by Daniel E. Lieberman is at the Bella Vista Library.
Interesting. I don't see how they can tell what people were like hundreds of thousands of years ago. It's just
Well, the fossils are crucial, and they have the dating means to do this, and you have thousands of very brilliant people at it, day in and day
that's
out.
true. Yeah, that's true. But it sounds like a really interesting book.
It is.
Yeah.
Probably the problem of obesity was non-existent then because, as you say, people walk 9 miles a day. They're constantly bending over, doing this and that, just looking,
Sure.
trying to survive.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
If you watch the World Cup and those guys running up and down, there wasn't one of them that belly showing at all.
They wear it off, don't they? Well, what else is going on at the library this summer?
Well, fortunately, everything is about the same. Roxy
Okay.
Wright is making a very advantageous adjustment, and things are very much the same. It means all our programs are in place. The patronage is up. Everything is going along nice and steady. We're glad to report.
You have a summer reading program, don't you, for kids?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You got several summer programs for kids. And such.
There's no question.
Yeah.
And especially on Fridays and Saturdays, and they have forms the kids fill out and keep track of their books, and we have reading leaders and all that kind of thing. It's all in place.
It's great.
Do the kids come and show the adults how to use the computers?
Don't they? If you've ever noticed them at the computers, they're very involved, very involved.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming,
All right, Mickey.
bringing that good book.
Good. Thank you.
We'll see you over at the library.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Now, Pete.
Yes. Our next guest, we found out that after we made arrangements that she had been here only not too long ago to talk about one operation that she's involved in, but she's going to talk about another one. You know, so many people are involved in a mixed bag. So Rebecca McCarthy, who is with Right at Home, which is a home care facility, also works with, and this is how we got her, how this was arranged, works with the Schmeeding Center here in the Highlands Crossing building, and does a program down the hall at Village House once a month called Design Your Mind. And that's what we wanted to talk about, was how do you design your mind?
Well, there's different ways to do it. About 6 to 8 months ago, we got involved with doing these programs once a month. It's on the first Wednesday of every month. Whether it's creative activities that are on paper, allowing the individual to create their own atmosphere, per se, or simple coloring or arts and crafts. We try to design it to where it doesn't just pull in one group of individuals, but it appeals to everyone. Many people don't realize that as the body ages and the brain ages, creativity does not deteriorate. It's always there. So being creative and being a part of group, it enhances the social skills. It keeps them a part of things. It really it benefits the overall health of the individual. And we try to tailor it around the holidays or specific events that are coming up. For instance, for the 4th of July, we made 4th of July fans for them to decorate and create on their own. And we try to supply the base material, and then they can design it however they want to.
You pretty well have some kind of a holiday or a special event almost every month.
Yes.
So that gives you an opportunity to get your creative juices going.
Yes, and I've heard from the individuals how they keep them in their apartments, or maybe they design them for their grandchildren. I know at Easter we did an Easter basket, and it actually went from 1 month to the next, so it was a two-part system. And many of those individuals created it for grandkids so that they could give them away as gifts. And it gives them something that they can say, I made this for you. But, you know, we have fun. It's a group of individuals, and everyone's feeding off each other as well.
And just out of curiosity, in this particular aspect of your work, do you have any special training for that? Or are you just creative by nature?
Well, my mother's creative. I'm probably not the most creative person, but I do research, and I find ways that it's going to get the individual involved in thinking. You know, I don't want them just showing up and doing the project and me instructing. They need to be creative on their own. So as far as specific training, no, I don't have any specific training that I provide to do the skills.
Yeah.
Most of the months I can make it and do it myself. Now there have been a couple of months that my care coordinator within the office did it, but it's always a project that's designed around the holiday and something to get them involved as a group.
Okay. Because I know with the other aspect of your work, the home care, you have special training that you have to do and so on.
Absolutely.
So, how do you find time to do all that?
Well, it's a demanding job, but you know, I love it at the end of the day. I really do. I have a lot of support, a lot of help, but the caregivers at the end of the day, they do all the work. I mean, it all relies on them.
Sounds like crafts type work a lot, isn't it?
As far as the design your mind,
Yeah.
yes. It is. I hate to call it arts and crafts because I don't want to deter the men from joining. And actually, we do have several men that come every month and they really enjoy it. It's not just your paper cutting and you're placing the stickers on. It's more hands-on. We have a plaster project that's going to come up and they're going to actually create a stepping stone. And then the following month, they'll actually design those stepping stones so that they can either give them a gift or they can put them out in front of their apartment or complex or wherever they live.
Oh,
so
neat.
it's something that they
So
can say.
and it carries on then from
Yeah,
month to month.
yeah, it's not just a one-time thing. They can look at it every day and say, I did that.
Yeah,
right.
That's neat.
It gives them something to talk about to their family or their friends, but it also pulls them into a group of individuals. It helps them to create friends, remain social, you know, have that connection with society rather than just staying in an apartment all day.
And they probably kind of work together too,
They do,
don't they?
they do. We have a really good time. I really enjoy it.
Now, do you do a program similar to this in other places other than just down the hall at the Village House?
Well, the Design Your Mind is one of a kind for this meeting center, but I do activities with other facilities such as game days or technology day. We did a technology day where a lot of people were struggling to learn how to use their cell phone or their iPad or whatever the case is, and we just show up and we walk them through the steps and kind of teach them the basics. So we do various activities. I try to stay as involved as I can within the community and helping other programs.
Now, where are you located? Do you have an office?
We
or-
do. We're
Yeah.
right here in Bella Vista. We're right directly across from the Bella Vista Lake on 71 Highway.
Oh, okay. Which, well, let's see, there's a couple of little strips
There
down
is
there.
insurance place right next door, and Edward Jones is right next door.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's a pretty convenient place. I think most people would probably see our billboard, but you know, if you get lost, it's directly across from the Bella Vista Lake and right after the Arkansas Welcome Center.
Oh,
okay.
okay, all righty.
What's it called?
Right at home.
Right.
Right at
at
home, okay.
Is that anywhere next to the building? Is that in the same or? are
It's
they-
before the building.
Before the
yeah,
building,
if you're
yeah.
going toward Bentonville, it's right before
Okay.
the building.
All of those places are handy if you're going south on 71.
Yes.
And miserable if you're going north.
Yes, and I encourage people when the traffic's bad to stop by and have a cup of coffee. Kill some time.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, hey, that's good to hear that there's those kinds of programs that the folks, especially the folks at Village House, they need to have things that keep them
Absolutely.
cooking.
And you know, I think I enjoy it just as much as it benefits me.
Well, we're glad to have you here, Deb, and maybe sometime in the not too far future we'll
Yeah, come
have you
join
back.
us. Come
Okay.
join us.
Or we'll come down the hall and play. Try and
Like to
build
hear.
our mind or whatever.
Yeah, I need that.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, you're more than welcome.
That
We
was
thank Nancy for getting you to come here.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Now, for the coup de grace. or something like that. comes
Whatever
out. I
that
don't
is.
know. Last Saturday, we had the opportunity, thanks to one of our cameramen here, Jeff Wojcik, we went down to the American Legion Post to videotape or record, or whatever you want to call it, the dedication of the POWMIA Memorial Garden that was built in the back area of the Legion. Very, very impressive program, a very, very impressive facility.
Yes,
Of course,
it is.
that entire new building that the Legion has is fantastic. And but we, thanks to the work of one of our people here, Steve Little, he does great editing work.
Yes, he does.
We went through what was taped of the program on Monday morning. And I heard a segment as it was being transferred from the little tapes into the computer. I heard a segment of Representative Womack's talk. And I said, that's what I want to put on our show on Wednesday, because it's very moving. And in addition to recording or changing that portion of Reverend Womack's talk, Steve has done a neat editing job. He's got a musical background, the whole 9 yards. And that's what I want to use now as we close this show. Not a definite close. We'll come back in and say our goodbyes. But this is the time that I want you to play that tape, Steve.
And the musical background,
musical
I think,
background,
is
yeah,
from
yeah.
the band. That,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that's the concert band in the.
Yeah.
And to the Herrick family, to stand in your presence today to bear witness to the dedication of a memorial is just a beautiful, very beautiful, and I think most appropriate way to honor the sacrifice of your family. Let me just say this. I have a very unique seat in the House of Representatives because I have a seat on the very coveted Defense Appropriations Committee. This committee is about 15 people, and it provides for the guidance and the direction and the oversight of the expense of more than half of the entire discretionary budget of the United States of America, in supporting our really only constitutional duty as a nation, and that is to provide for the common defense of the greatest country the world has ever known. So, it is from this perspective that I tell you that we can argue today about how many ships we ought to sail. We can argue today about the end strength of each of the services, how many people they should have. We can even argue about whether we should keep the A-10 or default now to the future of the F-35. And we can argue all day long, as we do, about the appropriate level of support that we should give the men and women who serve us today, who will serve us in the future, and certainly those who have served us in the past, our heroes. But the one thing that we will no longer debate, and never second guess is the collective support that this country has for the men and women who voluntarily today put their hand up and take the oath of office to protect their country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That is never going to be compromised, and it will never be a source of debate that would divide this country. And for that, I am eternally grateful. And I want you to know that every day in Washington, Republicans and Democrats, even political agnostics, believe that if there's one thing that we have to get right every single day, it's that we provide the proper support, the proper equipment, the proper training, and the proper leadership to ensure that those men and women who are going to stand in harm's way for us, as they do as I speak today, will have only the very best this country has to offer. This is but one reminder of how our work is never done, because we still have men and women who have worn this uniform who didn't make it home, and their whereabouts still unknown. So as this POW MIA flag flies, let us be mindful of the fact, as the Soldier's Creed appropriately states, we will never leave a fallen comrade. On this day, under beautiful sunshine and unseasonably mild weather for the week of the 4th of July, on the day after we have celebrated the nation's 238th birthday, I offer my congratulations to Post 341 and again honor the Herrick family in this very special way today. God bless you all. God bless Bella Vista, and God bless America.
If that didn't move you, I don't know what will.
Right. That band background that's really a good band.
That was our own community concert band.
Yeah.
Playing, what is it? Aaron Copeland's.
I can't think of the name of it. They had a really good concert the other night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be sure and go see the band if you can.
Something to the Common Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fanfare for the Common Man.
Yeah,
Thank you from the background. Appreciate that very much.
It's good.
That we hope eventually to be able to get the entire program on a disc. Someday we may play the whole thing. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's. I'm glad we caught that segment
I am too.
Congressman Bromack, because it was very, very appropriate to talk.
The American Legion.
And to the Legion. What did I say?
No, American Legion.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do. Okay. And that building that is new is a good place to go for lunch too.
Yeah. I was just thinking that would be an appropriate way to go there for lunch someday, and then step out in the back and view this garden.
Right. That'd be
Live.
a good thing to do.
Well, that wraps us up. I think we have killed enough time to get everything edited and ready to go back there. We want to remind everybody that this program will be aired today on Wednesday at 4 o'clock, and just a little after about 4:05 after the daily devotions. Then again at 6 p.m. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Thursday. Friday morning at 9 a.m. and Saturday at 11 a.m. And as we've always said, we are all volunteer. Everything that's been done and handled today that you've seen is done by volunteers. And if you're interested in becoming a part of this crazy organization, all you got to do is come down some Wednesday morning and about 9:30 and
See what's
going on, what you'd like to do, and we would welcome you with open arms. So, in closing, I think we need to remind the people that we do it all for you.